What's up YouTube? I'm James the Movie Critic and welcome to my spoiler-free review of Tenet. Tenet is a story about a secret agent who embarks on a dangerous, time-bending mission to prevent the start of World War III. When I walked out of this movie, the one thought in my head was that Christopher Nolan is so much more than a director. In fact, he's a genre all to himself. When he tells a story, it's not just telling a story for a story's sake. His DNA is weaved all through the movie, whether it be through his actors, through the plot itself. His creative direction and cinematography touches every single portion of the film. When Nolan directed the Dark Knight trilogy, he piqued my interest as a director and I started researching him. And then I found this video where he was explaining that when he tells a story, he likes to start from the middle and work his way out. And Tenet is the epitome of that idea. The first act was a little cluttered and maybe even a little confusing, and you might want to see it twice or three times just to understand that. But some of the confusion came from the sound mix. The voices were beneath both the sound effects and the musical score, which made when they were explaining key plot points hard to understand. It's in the first act that the science behind the story is explained, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but if you've only seen the trailer, it's a little different than you think. The third act was amazing. Nolan has this magical way of leaving you utterly confused for about an hour and a half to 2 hours through a movie, and then in the last 10 minutes making it all make sense. So much so that I was finishing the sentences of one of the actors because the plot came together. Outside of Warner Brothers begging Nolan to make more movies for the Dark Knight trilogy, he's not known for making sequels or prequels, but I really hope that he does follow up with another movie for Tenet because there's so much more story to be told. Now, before we hop into the character breakdown, why don't you go ahead and drop a like if you're enjoying the video, or if you're enjoying my new shirt or my haircut. It is nearly impossible to be the star of a Nolan film because the writing is so good that ultimately it takes center stage. It's why I never give Christian Bale all of the credit in the world for being the best Batman that we've ever seen, because I thought he was a pretty okay Batman with fantastic writing behind him, while Ben Affleck was a great Batman, but he had pretty subpar writers behind him. Speaking of leading roles, John David Washington was the perfect choice to star in this movie. The only other movie that I've ever seen him in is BlacKkKlansman, where he played opposite Adam Driver. And there aren't very many action scenes in that movie, so I wasn't sure if he'd be able to handle the fighting that would take place in Tenet. Man, I was wrong. He was so comfortable and he reminded me of his dad, Denzel Washington, in the Equalizer movies. He had no stuntman, so because the science of this movie is all about time manipulation, he actually had to learn his fight scenes moving forward in time and backwards, which was very impressive. I really enjoyed Robert Pattinson's character in this movie. I loved how they made him an enigma and we really didn't know much about him until the very end when it mattered. The suits that Robert Pattinson had on in this movie were phenomenal. Some of y'all don't know this about me, but I am very passionate about being dapper. And he had on some of the cleanest suits I have ever seen on screen. I'm talking Michael Kors, Armani, to the point that I was thinking, what budget did y'all have for this movie and how can I get that in my closet? Because I need them suits in my closet, but that's besides the point. I gave this movie an 8 out of 10. It wasn't perfect, but it did a lot of things right and did some things visually that we have never seen on screen before. I'm not sure yet if it was Nolan's best film, but I know for a fact that it was his most complex. Comment below your thoughts on the movie. Are you super excited to see it or are you gonna wait to stream it online? And if you liked the video, it only makes sense that you would subscribe down below and don't forget to turn on your notifications. Thanks so much guys, have a good one.